We're in the museum here at the entry to our new exhibit, which is called Northward Over the Great Ice, Robert E. Peary and the Quest for the North Pole. He left from New York in July of 1908, so just over 100 years ago now, and spent the subsequent 18 months in Greenland and in northern Ellesmere Island and on the sea ice going to the North Pole. In the 1980s, the Navigation Society, an independent organization, studied all of Peary's records, his navigation records, including his sextant readings and things like that, and also his photographs, where they analyzed the shadows using the time of day and the angle of the sun and things like that. They concluded that he was, on April 6, 1909, within 5 miles of the actual North Pole. And they stated that that was as close as his instruments would have allowed him to get. That is, the error rate in instruments in those times was great enough that he couldn't have necessarily gotten any closer. Matthew Henson was Peary's African-American assistant. He was with Peary on almost all of his Greenland and North Pole expeditions beginning in 1891. He was the most skilled of Peary's assistants on the North Pole expedition because of his long experience. He's still remembered in Greenland today, actually, as an excellent dog sled driver, for example. We have some very exciting objects on loan to us from other institutions, including the flag that Josephine Peary, Peary's wife, sewed for him in the 1890s and which he carried on all his expeditions in which he flew at the North Pole. That's on loan to us from the National Geographic Society. We have been doing a lot of research as we prepared for this exhibit, and we found, among other things, the journals and the photographs of the chief engineer of Peary's ship, the SS Roosevelt. They've been, and still are, in family hands all these years. And they provide a whole new window onto the expedition because, unlike all the other journals from the North Pole expedition, or of the men who were out on the sea ice with Peary, helping him get to the pole, the chief engineer, his duty was to stay with the ship. And so he has a perspective on what was going on the ship and on the adjacent land encampment throughout the whole expedition, which gives us a picture of the sort of the behind-the-scenes activities on the expedition, which is really very exciting.